Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really privileged to have you back. Thank you very much for choosing our show. Thank you for your continued support from the onset. Allow me to request you to subscribe to this channel. If you are watching for the first time, click the notification bell. After subscribing, please like and share our videos. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to begin this analysis by reading something that Rigathi shared on his X handle on 27th of April, that is late last month, and exactly about two weeks down the line, something has happened concerning this post that I want us to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, this is the statement. Rigathi had attended a church service, so they usually update on how the day was. So this is what he said. No temptation has come upon believers that is not common to humanity. God is faithful and will not let them be tempted beyond what they are able to bear, but will always provide a way of escape so they can endure it. That is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. That's not even what I'm interested in. I'm just reading everything. Now, I'm interested in the second paragraph going downwards. It says, earlier today, I joined Christian faithful and leaders for a church service and celebration of the 25th anniversary of St. Louis Igwamiti Parish, Catholic Diocese of Nyahururu in Nyandarua County. It was a wonderful time of worship and fellowship, surrounded by the warmth of community and faith. It's heartwarming to see so many come together in faith, sharing blessings and enjoying the message of hope. Blessed Sunday, fellow Kenyans. So, ladies and gentlemen, why have I read that? This particular Sunday, Rigathi attended a service at a Catholic church. And the host on that day is a father called Father John Maina Ndegwa. As we speak today, that father is no more. And the social and the mainstream media, as they report, they capture this mood and they want they want it to come out that his death is somehow related to meeting Rigathi. Now I want you to see how most of the media stations reported. They say a Catholic father who hosted Rigathi a fortnight ago has been found dead. That is how most of the communication came. The nation media is saying this Catholic priest who hosted Gachagua 2 weeks ago murdered, and they continue to say that DCI detectives in Nakuru have launched investigations into the murder of Father John Maina, whose body was found in Kikopey. The body was found dumped in Kikopey, that is Nairobi-Nakuru highway, about 50 kilometers from his workplace. Ladies and gentlemen, if you read what is happening in social media, they have thronged the pages and they have directed accusing fingers to the government. That is what they are saying. And even if you look at the mood of the reporting, they are saying, they are not stopping at Father John Maina Ndegwa is found dead, or the Catholic father of Kikopey, or what parish is dead. They are saying who hosted Rigathi exactly 2 weeks is found dead. And I want us to look at this, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why I'm looking at this is because politics is about perception. As a leader, even not as a leader, as a person, how do people gauge you? What do people think you are? How have you carried yourself socially in the society? So that if something happens today, for example, where you stay, and some people come up with the allegation that you are a thief, will the whole community or the neighbors stand up for you and say, no, we have been here with the Chando for the last 10 years or 1 year. We've never had such a thing with him. Or you are such a person who is viewed with a lot of suspicion, so that if something goes missing in the surrounding, then even if you're not the one, the people just start with the undertones that, mimi nafikiri ni Achando amefanya hivyo. And I'm saying this because William Ruto has created a perception in the mind of the public opinion. If his case was to be handled at the courts of the public opinion, then many people believe that William Ruto is dishonest. William Ruto is a liar. William Ruto is a land grabber and is a murderer. That is the perception. And if you think I'm becoming too much, then you study the Kenyan politics. That is why this thing is reported that he died after meeting Rigathi. Let us ask one question. By saying he met Rigathi, what do you think is the intention? Is the person insinuating that Rigathi killed him? No. By saying that he died after meeting Rigathi, what they are trying to say is that there are people who are reading from a different script politically from Rigathi who might have committed the crime. Today, Rigathi released a statement saying that yesterday, when the DCI officers in their Subarus pursued him and took over Wamunyoro and Karen homes, that the intention was not only to arrest him, but he alleges further that they wanted to intoxicate him using some chemical weapons so that he gets paralyzed. It is saying that William Ruto has given a decree, has signed his death, and that they are pursuing to kill him. And that were it not for some loyal forces, some spies who are loyal to him within Vigilance House and those who are in the police service, then it would be a different case. And so that is the perception that people have, that this regime has stained her hands in blood. That is why when this bishop is dead, this father, people now think that it is the government that targeted him for hosting Rigathi. And I'm telling you, this might not even be true, because the case is with the investigative officers. We do not know. But you can imagine that from the onset, even if the government is very innocent, they don't know what is happening, people already have a set mind. They've already judged that this might have been a regime that does not want any dissenting views. So that is why they are saying, Rigathi said they wanted to kill him. They also feel that anybody who associates with Rigathi becomes an enemy. That is why George Natembeya, who has held a dissenting view, who has faced William Ruto and told him off on many occasions, who is saying that they are ready to work with Rigathi. They are the toughest. If you look at the combination in the opposition, it is Rigathi and Natembeya who are playing the tough, abrasive politics. They went for him. You can imagine that even at a time when we were fighting corruption and a governor is sought for to help with investigations, we cannot accept it. Why? Because we believe that the government of the day is weaponizing independent institutions like the EACC, the DCI, the ODPP, Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. They want to weaponize this to intimidate those who do not read from the same page as them. And that is why I'm telling you that even as we head to 2027, there are evidence. The BBC said William Ruto officiated over, the police and the military that killed our youths. William Ruto himself, after denying this for long, when he met the Finland president, said, yes, people were kidnapped, but all of them who were kidnapped have now rejoined their families, something that caused an uproar because there are families still looking for their loved ones. So there were abductions. You cannot deny it, even if you support Ruto. He's the one who accepted that there were abductions. We know there were people who were killed. And ladies and gentlemen, if there is an institution, I don't know to call it an institution, this thing called IPOA, the Independent Police Oversight Authority, this thing should be disbanded. It's taking our money for nothing. In fact, the former IEBC chair, Issa Kassan, is taking our money for nothing. This thing is not helping. We've had very many cases of police brutality, some murder cases and extrajudicial killings that are linked to the police during Azimio, during Gen Z's protest. They're still telling us that they are investigating others. The other day, they dropped certain charges that there are no evidences. And ladies and gentlemen, if you ask me, some of these institutions, we better do without them. So the death of Father John Maina is mysterious, and people are already, pointing accusing fingers. Why? We have a government that is dishonest, and there is trust deficit between the government and the people of Kenya. This is because over time the government has promised things that they can't deliver. The president says anything that he wants just to get away with it, and this is why it is going to be difficult for William Ruto to campaign and win the hearts of Kenyans. It is not going to be very easy for him because people now link him with vices in the society. You are a president that people link, you lead a regime that people link with lies, murder, corruption, land grabbing, and kept promises, then you are doomed. I don't know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, but that is what is in the minds of the people. However, the police is still investigating. I'm only concerned. Do you think there will be any credible information that will come out of this? And even if it is found out, can there be justice? Many people are still wondering what could have caused the death of a father we believe is a man of God. Maybe we wait for the investigations, and if we don't find out, those who believe in God believe that one day justice will be dispensed from God himself.